Open any social feed, and the content arrives in fractions. Every post is pre-measured, carefully cropped to the specific dimensions the platform rewards. Most writers learn to compose their thoughts inside those dimensions without ever deciding to. The physical boundaries of the screen begin to compress the actual shape of the ideas to fit the available space. Paragraphs grow shorter. Eventually, the container becomes the shape of the thinking itself. We usually treat the algorithm as an external tool that filters what audiences see, but the constraint actually migrates inward, settling into the mind to filter what creators allow themselves to say. This acts like a metronome set by someone else's hand. As the mind syncs to engagement metrics, the creative process follows a beat it didn't create. Writers begin to calculate a sentence's reach before the period even lands. They confuse performance metrics with genuine resonance until the confusion feels so natural it no longer registers as a problem. This constant internal calculation creates a quiet, persistent friction. The writer subconsciously evaluates how a draft will land on a feed, editing out complexity before the thought is even fully formed. What remains is performative authenticity, a specific kind of vulnerability that performs well online because it follows an expected cadence without requiring real emotional cost. The platform reinforces this by rewarding a clarity of brand that a scroller can recognize in 2 seconds. It trains the writer to mistake mere visibility for actually being heard. But the voice rarely forgets its original range, and eventually, the habit of compliance starts to fail. A sentence arrives that is too long for the container. It carries the weight of something composed because it needed to exist. This reveals a creative bifurcation. 2 distinct streams of work begin to emerge that no longer resemble each other. One stream of work is engineered for visibility on digital screens. The other is a private accumulation in notebooks, voice memos, and the margins of books read for no strategic reason. The growing gap between these 2 worlds causes deep disorientation. The writer has to face the fact that the digital architecture is no longer large enough to hold everything worth saying. Writers often process this disorientation as a crisis. They interpret falling out of step with the algorithm as a personal failure or a loss of relevance to the world around them. But authentic thought is inherently slow. It requires a type of attention that no algorithm can measure, making it incompatible with a feed. Outgrowing the platform is a sign of creative maturity. It is what happens when a root system cracks the sidewalk. The root simply continued growing in the direction growth required. The concrete was never designed to accommodate that kind of patience. Breaking the feed's rules is the result of a voice returning to its original, uncompressed scale. Reclaiming that voice requires active, deliberate resistance. It starts with creating a sanctuary for unoptimized thought. Maintaining an analog notebook that never touches the internet ensures a boundary where thoughts can form without the pressure of visibility. In this space, you can practice drafting sentences that are purposely too long, refusing to optimize for a scroll. The goal is to trust the slow accumulation of meaning. You say what you mean and trust the reader to stay long enough to hear it, rather than chasing the immediate dopamine of a metric. These unoptimized practices act as a structural defense, neutralizing the algorithm's influence on the rhythm of your thinking. The final step to breaking the algorithm's hold is a quiet philosophical realization. The writer must remember that their creative voice existed long before the platform, the metrics, or the feed. Remembering that origin changes everything that follows. It allows the voice to stop shrinking to fit the container, ending the confusion between being visible and truly being heard.